Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the Golden Shoe. How y'all doing, dog? Yo, we just seen some spectacular soccer, dog. Soccer, football, call it what you want it, guys. We just seen this past 6 months. We seen soccer come back to life. We seen football giving Messi the World Cup, and we seen Real Madrid get trashed in the Champions League. Football, the football gods are smiling right now. How are you guys? Rios, how you doing, buddy?
Top
I'm
boy.
doing great. Isn't there somebody missing? I feel like someone's missing.
We, we know who misses whenever Real Madrid loses every game, dog.
Who is it? Who is it?
We know the ghost, Mr. Guti.
And there was somebody else that was supposed to be on.
Oh yeah, man. He's the
What happened to
dynamic,
Johnny?
the dynamic Chelsea fan. The
Ooh.
dynamic Chelsea fan. Where he at?
Supposedly he did say he was gonna be a little late. He did say he was gonna be a little late. So let's hope it's not too late. Eddie, welcome back to the Golden Shoe. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, my friend. Honestly, man, just looking at these matches, I must agree with you to a certain extent. Yo, football was alive yesterday. Was alive and well yesterday, man. I must agree with
What else would be alive, Eddie?
Yo, this man
alive
Eddie,
alive and well, my friend.
Rugby?
love it, love
Alive
it, love
and
it.
well, my friend. Take the context how it is, please.
Danny, dog. Last week we were saying that we see a Inter Milan Real Madrid final, and Guardiola had something else in mind, dog. How you feeling today?
Man, I feel like football just keeps on giving us, man, like so many gifts. Like I felt like Madrid had it. Me and you, we had the Madrid Inter final. But damn, man, I don't know. I feel like in some ways, like man, I feel like it was so shocking to see that result though, the 4-0, man. To be honest
A
with you, I
four
didn't
a
think it
four
was.
zero that could have
Yeah, I
been a
didn't see
lot
that
more,
coming.
right?
True.
Yeah, definitely.
Yo, on the when it was like I believe it was like the 21st or 22nd minute. So I watched the games in TUDN, the here in that you watch that on Univision or whatever, right? Yo, and they came and UEFA like dropped a statistic. I think it was 250 something passes to 15
Hmm.
in the
Okay.
first 20 minutes. Rios, we know that you're a coach. We know your background. We know what you look at into games and all that good stuff. You have proven to us here in the Golden Shoe. Bro, seeing that statistic like more than 200 passes to 15, like 1-5 in 20 minutes in elite soccer, in elite football in the Champions League. Bro, I have never seen that before.
It, wa-
Not even Pep's Barca had it this way.
it was tough to watch, bro, honestly, especially as a Real Madrid fan. I was praying that, okay, hopefully somehow, some way we can get a counterattack and that famous Vinny counterattack in Benzema magic. But no, Kyle Walker. And the only thing is, they look so good in possession. Even when we did counter, they were so well set up defensively. And Kyle Walker, bro, can we talk about him? Can we give him
Yo,
his kudos, bro?
I think not only talk about Kyle Walker though, like I think that Guardiola just made John Stones one of the best players like in the world at the moment. Like
One of the best
top.
sixes, bro. That man looked
I
like a
want to
baller.
I want to say that Stones have to be now considered like top 20 midfielders in the world right now, and we know he's a center back.
That's crazy.
Well, that's what makes him good, though, to be able to transition into that position, man.
Of course, of
Great.
course.
That's great.
So we have a lot to talk about today because obviously we have to like pinpoint a lot of things, right? Let's start with City, right? Because they had a magical night yesterday. But the overall two matches, right? Haaland, right, who is the world superstar at the moment, top scorer, in the world right now. He didn't score, and yesterday he had two, really good headers that Courtois made wonderful saves. So we were probably looking at a 4-0 that could have been 6-1, counting that one Real Madrid shot that hit the post. Let's just give them that one, right? So, and we're talking about like Man City could have gone in the first half winning 4-1.
4-0, no?
Well, I'm counting Tony Kroos's,
Oh,
Tony
the
Kroos's
post.
post, that was the only shot that Real Madrid hit
I
yesterday.
mean,
You
I
know,
mean, you got to keep in mind one thing, bro. They had that middle super controlled, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, who was
yeah,
Real Madrid's middle? It was Luca, Tony Cruz, and Valverde, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Valverde was honestly non-existent. I've probably seen his name mentioned twice in the literally the all first half.
Yo, I personally, Eddie, I'm glad that you're touching that because I think that we need to talk also when we start talking about Real Madrid. Yo, I feel like yesterday what I saw in the field, Danny. I don't know how you feel about this one. Yo, I felt like it was the end of the cycle for a bunch of Real Madrid players. Like Carvajal, wow, yo, Grealish,
Yeah, killed them.
yo, what Grealish did yesterday to Carvajal was unbelievable. I think Carvajal's time came. I feel obviously Real Madrid needs a left back. Like Camavinga is a great patch, but he's not a left back. So obviously Real Madrid need a right back. They need a left back. They need three midfielders. Yo, and Karim Benzema. Yo, Robert Lewandowski has more goals in this Champions League than Benzema, and Lewandowski played 6 games less.
That I mean, that's I saw that stat too, and I was kind of shocked. But I mean, he's been injured, so I kind of gave him a little bit of a pass because of that. But I
Okay.
think to me, the midfield definitely has to be the most talked about. Like I'll be honest with you, that stat with the passes, like it was bad, man. Like I was at one point, I was like, yo, how is Madrid? Like I mean, we talked about how they gonna like withstand the pressure, and they actually went for it again. Like tried to like hold the ball and like try to protect. Like I was like, go give City the ball. I mean, and I was just like, man, they can't sustain this more than 25 minutes. And the first goal came, and I was like, see, there you go. I was like, they can't. And then they did it again, and then they scored again. And I was like, bro, like you have to come out of your shell. Like at some point, you're gonna have to play this game. And I don't
Rios,
know.
you
I
go
think
ahead.
we talk about the midfield, we talk about the players, but I'm gonna put this on Ancelotti. Pep outplayed Ancelotti. And Ancelotti did nothing to adjust. And when he did, it was too late. It was like minute what, 70 when he starts making tactical changes,
Yeah, he
Yeah,
made 3 subs in the 80th minute after the 3-0.
Yeah,
which made no sense. He should have made that. But there's a slight difference in City. The way they came out in the first game, I think they only pressed with Haaland. In this game, they pressed with two, and they let Tony Kroos get the ball and drop in deep. So what was happening was Tony Kroos was dropping in as an extra center back, and there was a less midfielder in the midfield. So it would be just Luca and Modric versus 5 or 6 Man City midfielders. So that's what Pep did or Man City did. That's why they kept the ball 90% of the time. That's why they had so many passes. And Real Madrid had how many? 15? Sorry.
Well,
Correct me.
that
I
that
don't know.
was that was on the 20-minute mark. Yeah,
Yeah.
before the goal, that was the
Yeah.
statistic. But Rios, don't you feel like this is what I'm saying? Like, remember how last show you guys, I made the comment that Real Madrid played at home like a small team,
Mm-hmm.
and then you guys had your opinions and all that good stuff, right? And then we saw the game yesterday at the Etihad, and Real Madrid went on, and you can't wait and sit in the back with midfielders like Toni Kroos and Luka Modric.
I don't think
Like
they
why you
meant to
sit?
sit
Like why
back
you
though.
sitting back?
I don't think they meant to set back. It's just I think Man City just if you saw it wherever the ball was, there was 6 City players versus 3 to 4 Real Madrid players. I just think like by nature, the way City came out and the way they were possessing the ball, bro, it was just like a rondo everywhere. It was like a 3v1, 4v2, 5v3 everywhere. So I don't think they purposely, let's sit back and defend because if you do that and the Etihad, you're gonna
I
suffer.
mean, but the thing is that if you see it, if you think about it, it was the same. It was the same
Hmm.
game that they did at home at the Bernabeu. It was legit the same way. They sat back, they waited at the Bernabeu. They had
Hmm.
more space. Camavinga was fully fit, so obviously, in this away game, he was a little hurt. Yo, but Real Madrid, like you're playing Camavinga, who's hurt, who hurt his knee during the weekend, and you have Ferland Mendy, who was part of that Champions League winning team last year on the bench. If he's sitting, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think if you're sitting on the bench, you can play. Like you're fit to play.
Mhm.
Like you're fit to go in and make an impact on the game.
Right.
I mean,
I
it
just
could
think
be, it could be a
Ancelotti
couple
has been
things.
rolling with Camavinga. He's been the hot hand. So, if Camavinga has been doing better at the moment, I don't think,
Yeah, but if
especially in
he's
a game
hurt, if
like this against City, I get you.
like,
I
why would you put someone that's hurt though, or not at 100%? Like,
not
if I have someone on
100%.
the bench, if I have someone on the bench that's 95%, and then my starter is 75%, yo, I'm gonna play my guy in the bench. You're playing 90 minutes to make it to the Champions League final.
But I
Like,
think it's
it's
also sorry, but I think it's also
no.
the fact that he was rusty. You can't put a Mendy out there and
Yeah, you
expect
don't
him to play
know.
that position. Like though it's a Champions League game, semifinal away. Like
Danny, but
You
you're putting a
could.
legit left back though.
You could, but there's a gamble. Like you
yeah,
said, like, he hasn't played at that many minutes during the season, this whole season, or whenever they transition Camavinga as a left back. I just think Ancelotti just rolled with the hot hand because he didn't make any. Also, he choked on not starting Rudiger.
yeah, that was
We
the
did
main
That
thing.
comment
I w-
that we did comment on that last
Militao was
episode
Militao
that
was the one that played.
Rudiger did fantastic stopping Haaland. So do we feel that Ancelotti made a mistake by starting Militao?
I think so. Militao didn't have a good game.
But he's
I
I
think
having
he should
he
have
mean,
came out
hasn't
with
had
the
a
same
good
11.
he hasn't had a good like last few months though.
Who Militao?
Yeah. And if you
Yeah,
think about it, dude, he only made one change. Rudiger
which
for
was that
Militao.
Rudiger Militao. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but you see, that's the thing, though. You're talking about like who's having a good game. Obviously, I mean, they thought didn't have a great game, but that's obviously one of the trusted players for him. For the coach. What could have been done? They could have moved Alaba in Kamavinga's position and then put Rudiger as that center back. You know what I'm saying? That could have been a
But,
possibility. I'm just
but
saying.
Alaba doesn't like to run though. Like he's at that stage in his career, bro. He's just trying to distribute, chill, and he's trying to play. As a left
Which,
back, you gotta do too much running.
which
That's
is
that's a young person's position, a left and right back.
which is correct. I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Especially
But
how Madrid
base,
plays it. As especially how Madrid plays it. Like if you're Man City, then it's a little bit different because now they're inverting their wing backs as midfielders.
You
but
know what?
Rios, if you think about it, if they would have started Militao and Rudiger, who are the best center backs, and then you're gonna put on the left back Camavinga, right? I mean, you could
Hmm.
have easily started Alaba on the left because he's been a left back for 20 years. And then you're gonna put Alaba on left back, and then you're gonna sit. I mean, I understand that Alaba is not a runner anymore. I get it. I understand that.
You got the
But bro,
experience.
for this type of games, like you can make easy transitions with Alaba playing from the back, especially because he's a lefty, right?
Hmm.
Coming from the back. Yo, another person that we gotta talk about because a lot of us were praising Vinicius Jr. last episode. Yo,
Hmm.
Beanie had a terrible game. Like this man barely touched the ball. I'm not saying it's his fault. I understand that obviously he wanted the ball, and Manchester City did a fantastic job keeping the ball away from Beanie. Now, I do want to say this though. This was the game to show up. Like if Beanie wanted the Balón de Oro, like this was a game. Like his chances are now, like on my opinion, like his chances are completely out.
Yeah, no, I think Madrid. Well, Vinny's. I didn't like his attitude. I didn't like his body language. Like whenever he lost the ball, he would just kind of throw his hands up or just walk back instead of hustling. Like this is the moment where it's a semifinal game. Like you're one step away from the Champions League final. This is where you go the extra mile. You lose that ball, you hump back to get the ball. I
Right.
didn't see any of that especially from the front three.
You know what I think though, that I think this is the first time that Beanie has seen his team get outplayed this bad.
Oh, I
'Cause-
think, bro, this city, bro, probably is one of the best ever.
Well, they gotta capitalize, right? They gotta win the trophies. Like if they did all of this and then they don't win, then like they did it for nothing, pretty much. I mean,
mean,
yeah,
but
it's gonna be in our memories, like like that city killed Real Madrid. But if they don't win the Champions League final against Inter Milan, like they literally did it for nothing, dog. Like they
hey,
really
but
did.
But you got to remember something though, Man City right now, even though they're focused on the Champions League. I mean, obviously they even have the chance to win the treble. You know what I'm saying? So they're playing a lot of games right now. So physically and mentally, they're gonna be really challenged to actually keep up that pace they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So
They're good, bro.
I mean, we're gonna the last 20 minutes of the show, we're gonna start talking about like Premier League and what's coming up and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
But just like a quick comment, like Man City has 3 or 4 games left in the Premier League. They only need to win one, and they're champions.
Exactly. And then a person like a mentor or a manager like Pep, they're going to be in good shape. Yeah, I know he has them locked in. He has a lot of experience. They've kind of folded before. And
Mm.
honestly, bro, I I, I see a good chance of them, winning all three trophies.
That would be
It's tough.
crazy. That
It's
would be
tough, but I
crazy.
know the good thing is that they're taking it one game at a time.
By the way, can I just kind of hit back to the point where you were talking about Mucci about Vinicius and the Ballon d'Or?
Hmm.
I would even say less than that because of how he performed this game. Would you arguably say that maybe he's not even considered top three best players anymore? Because I know a lot of people were speculating, hey, depending on how he performed, he could have leaked himself into that conversation with Mbappe and Haaland. What do you think about that?
So that was a conversation we had last show. Like Beanie went from being on the verge of probably sitting at a table with Haaland and Mbappe to being 1 or 2 steps low again.
Yeah,
Like yo, this is elite. This is elite football, dog. Like these were the games. Now we can say, oh, like now Haaland didn't score against Real Madrid, but he had his 2 chances. Courtois did amazing, showing once again why he's considered the best goalie, arguably the best goalie in the world at the moment. Like Courtois has done this year after year for Real Madrid in the Champions League. And to me, I know you want to know all three of us opinions. My opinion is that Vinicius is still top 10 in the world. Just because of one game, we're not going to kill him,
Right.
but he did ruin his chances to be top 5 in this Ballon d'Or. To me,
You
I
think
think
so?
I think Messi, like based on numbers, on what things that have happened this year, Messi has better numbers, Mbappe has better numbers, Haaland has way better numbers. So I think to me those are gonna be the top three.
Would
Well, I
now
mean,
who do we crucify more? Who Vinicius, his game in the semifinal, or Mbappe and Messi's performance against Munich in that early exit? You get what
Well,
I'm
the,
saying?
I
Like,
mean,
I think
yeah, no, for sure.
the
I
I
think
thing,
would say yeah.
right?
you
The
get what I'm
thing is
saying?
that we gotta
Did I make a
see.
point?
No, and I feel your point, though. I love this show. Shit. So listen, yo, one thing that we gotta keep in mind though is that Mbappe scored a hat trick in the World Cup final, and Messi won the World Cup final.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So at this point, since Messi and Mbappe got eliminated so early into the
You think they
season,
get a pass because of their World Cup performance,
they don't get a pass,
or it
but
kind
it,
of
but
balances
it,
out,
but it
it weighs
balances
out?
out. And you know how we were talking about
Hmm.
numbers for Beanie, right?
Yeah,
So
I know
this were the
his numbers are better this year, correct?
there he has one more goal than he did last year.
Okay.
So this has been his numbers this year, right? 49 games, 22 goals, 20 assists. Yo, we're talking about Ballon d'Or numbers. Like Beanie Jr. has had a Ballon d'Or season number again. But this is Messi. Just I'm not even talking about Mbappe and Haaland. This is Messi's number. These numbers this season, right? 49 games, 36 goals, and 24 assists. So Messi has 14 more goals than Beanie and 4 more assists. That just and you gotta add the World Cup. You gotta add Mbappe being top scorer in the World Cup. You gotta add that Haaland has 51 goals. Like like all of the things add up. Now that's for me. Beanie is gonna be. I mean, he's had a great. I mean, he's had a great year again. Last year, I praised him a lot actually because it was his first like big year. But I think it shows, dude. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that this game was the end of a few Real Madrid players.
I
I
agree.
think
I don't think it end, but like for example, seeing Cruz Cross play as much or that
so.
trio.
Rios, I want to ask you guys this question, right?
Hmm.
Real Madrid has right now 4 or 5 players that they need to renew their contract. They have Karim Benzema, Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, Nacho, and Asensio. Yo, Florentino, if he wants to compete in the Champions League again, this is my opinion, right? You guys can take it, you guys can take it and kill me for it. I think that Florentino should not renew any of them. Like you don't need Toni Kroos for another year. Luka Modric, he's 38 years old. He's not gonna give you another. He's not gonna give you 13, 15 high level Champions League games anymore. You want to keep him for La Liga? You can keep him for La Liga, but then you're gonna play a healthy Barcelona, and they're gonna trash you again because we know that Frankie De Jong and Pedri, they are way faster than the Modric right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't see that. I really don't see that Florentino needs this Benzema anymore. Now, Danny said that Benzema has been hurt, and I understand. Perfect. Benzema is 36. He's gonna turn 37.
Mhm.
You can clean up. You can start and clean up you can start and do what Florentino did once again when he did it in 2009. Because when Barcelona won the treble, Florentino went and he bought 9 players and he threw everybody else out. And then 10, 15 years later, boom, you won 5 Champions Leagues. So I personally think that yesterday was a big eye opener for Florentino, to the point that a lot of the media in Spain are already talking about that they're going to sack Ancelotti. How you
There's
guys
a
feel about it?
possibility. That is a possibility. I think more than anything, it showed lack of depth from Real Madrid compared to a City. Like,
Absolutely.
bro,
I agree.
Asensio comes in, and, he's not the same as a Mahrez coming in. A Phil Foden for Grealish. Who else came in? Yo, City's subs were beyond crazy to me, and I'm just like, bro, if Real Madrid wants to compete with the best of the best, they need depth. And I agree. I think he has to let somebody go, but I think he has to keep some of them to just have depth on the squad.
So let's go ahead and do, our little nice thing that we always do here, for the big games. Let's
Oh
sorry.
yeah, Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez for Erling Haaland. Oh my god,
So
that's crazy.
hold up, sorry. Let me close this up, right? So these were the players that came in for Real Madrid, right? Antonio Rudiger, right? Marcos Asensio, Lucas Vasquez, Tuchel Manny, who cost Real Madrid 100 million. Yo, Real Madrid paid this summer 100 million for Aurelien Tuchel, and
Perfect.
and then you got Danny Ceballos coming in, right?
Exactly.
So I want to honestly, I only see two world class players coming in. I see Antonio Rudiger coming in, and I see Tuchel coming in. Marcos Asensio, Lucas Vasquez, and Danny Ceballos, they are not elite
No,
footballers,
they're
yo.
not. They're okay.
Like, they're professionals. They play for Real
Exactly.
Madrid. They can probably start in any team in Spain besides Atletico Barcelona and Barcelona. Obviously, they're not starting at Real Madrid.
Now compared to cities, look at cities. This is
And
crazy.
and then for City, we have Germany's captain coming out for Riyad Mahrez. We had Belgium's captain coming out for Phil Foden, and we have the top goal scorer in the world coming out for a world champion for
That's
Julian
wild,
Alvarez.
bro.
Yo, keeping in mind that Laporte didn't come in, Calvin Phillips didn't come in, and they have Nathan Ake, who's a starter
Injured,
for them,
right? He was
injured.
injured.
Bro,
Exactly. That's wild.
look at the rest of the bench though. Vallejo, Nacho. I don't want to say he's world class, but he's a
Mm-mm.
Real
He's a
Madrid.
professional.
He's a great professional.
Yeah,
Odrio Sola, and then you have Ferland Mendy, who didn't get called up for the World Cup because the coach for France think that he's not good enough. Let's just keep that in mind, right? Like, this man won a Champions League, and he didn't get called up to the World Cup because the coach didn't think he was good enough.
That's crazy. That
And
says a
then
lot.
Mariano Diaz, who has been benching for Benzema for the past 4 years, and Eden Hazard, who Real Madrid paid 125 million euros, and he's been sitting in the bench the whole season, fit. Like, this man has been fit to play 90% of the matches this season and has barely played.
Mm-hmm.
So why does Ancelotti keep playing with only 14, 15 players? Bro, you can listen. This is what, Danny, I don't know how you feel about this, but this is what I was trying to tell you. Like, from Real Madrid's team that won last year, this is something that we've been seeing already, dude. And Real Madrid finally play a real team like Manchester City, and they get trashed. They play Liverpool, who was 11th, and they played Chelsea when they were 13th in the Premier League. They play the top of the Premier League, and this happens. You
Well,
guys
I
don't
think
you
too, it
guys don't
backfired
think
on
it
Ancelotti.
connects?
I think it kind of backfired on Ancelotti because you made a good point that he only plays with the same 14 players. He's a known coach for not rotating his players or the lineup. You remember Zidane was the opposite. Zidane would play. He would use basically almost all 25 players on the squad.
I agree.
So I think Madrid just needs young talent, a striker, and maybe to not replace Benzema, but to give him good competition. They need to renovate the midfield, bring in extra young players, and see if he can keep Modric. I think Modric would be a great veteran to keep, and he could be a leader to guide the youth. And doesn't have to play as much. I don't know how you feel about that.
No, I agree. I agree. You know what's
Because I
you
remember
know,
when Barca won, when they beat Juve, you guys had
okay.
Xavi coming off the bench. Who was
Yeah.
Iniesta still there?
No, Iniesta was. No, yeah, of course Iniesta was there.
Nah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
He
he was
was
a
there.
starter though.
Was he starting?
Yeah, he was starting.
Yeah, Iniesta was starting,
Okay.
yeah.
But you had a world class player like Xavi late in his career coming off the bench. I think that's what Madrid needs. And I think Modric can play that role next year. Because he's old. And it showed. It showed he played a lot this season.
You know, Louis been saying a lot of good comments like Tchouaméni and Camavinga in the midfield will be solid with Valverde, and then what Brian said that supposedly Bellingham to Madrid is close. I don't see these players winning a Champions League next year.
I don't. Me neither.
Like
I don't. You don't see a
they're not
creator.
ready. They're not ready to take it.
I don't see someone that can replace Modric's role. Like Camavinga's good, but is he a Modric? Can he create like Modric? Is he that type of player? Not really.
But I don't think Bellingham is either.
Me neither. Exactly. That's what I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand the hype behind it because he's a great box to box player. But what made that midfield great was Modric because of Kroos was like the facilitator. You have Casemiro who was the person that would win the balls, destroy
back.
the game.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you had Modric the creator. If you bring in Jude Bellingham, I don't see where you could fit him and plug him in, but I don't see him taking or kind of playing the role Modric did.
I think
don't
he
know
would
how you
be.
feel about
I
that.
think he would be like a scoring midfielder they can have, someone like another threat. Because Bellingham's not. I mean, I think he could play like almost any position in the midfield, really.
Yeah.
You can play him up top too, but I still think you keep Benzema, you keep Modric.
You can let Tony Cruz go.
Yeah, Kroos might have to go. He's probably one of the ones where I probably would say he will go. Asensio you keep as a piece, but that depends on the money, like and all that.
And
Because
I think he wants to go. Like I was reading
Yeah.
stuff. I think he wants to leave. And just to kind of add on to what you're saying, I think a player that you could try to keep maybe is Carvajal.
Yeah.
But as a bench, you have to bring in a right back.
yeah,
You have to bring in a right back. Someone
Yeah,
like
he-
Joao Cancelo would be nice.
yeah, he needs competition. A lot. Benzema needs competition too. Like there's a lot of positions, like right back. I think striker, the two where like there's no competition behind them.
I
It's
think
like
the
lit-
back line is straight. Like the back line is okay. And I think the
yeah.
back line was able to handle what they could against City.
Yeah, I think Rudiger is still nice. You can keep him there.
Alaba, you
Alava's
have
like a Swiss
Militao.
knife, a bit of a Swiss knife, so he doesn't have to like always play the same position. So
Right.
he can play left back one day, like against like I guess I mean I'm not calling the bottom tier teams, but like he can just kind of plug him in there from time to time. But you definitely need to put some more competition and some fresh legs, kind of see like how these players respond. I mean, you just can't let go of Modric, man. Like he can't like he's like one player who definitely deserves like another year, and not because of like performance, just more out of
Mhm.
respect. And I think he's there enough to at least kind of get a chance to just like kind of help out the youth and like like kind of just like see it out, like kind of see
Yeah.
next year out. And then I mean they probably won't win the Champions League, but they'll fight for the league, they'll fight for La Copa. You know
I
what
think
I'm
Brian
saying?
and Lewis made a good point on that comment. You can't replace Modric, but if there's a player that you can say, hey, who can I bring in as young? And then Modric kind of guide him his last few years at Madrid. A few attacking mids. I don't know if you guys want to add on. The one that can come from the top of my head is Martin Odegaard.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's a Modric, but I think if Modric takes him under his wing and kind of guides him, who knows what can happen.
Oh, is he on
I don't know
loan?
how you guys feel about it.
Is he on loan from Madrid, or he's still, or was he sold?
No, I
to,
think
like,
Arsenal bought him.
oh,
Correct
he
me
was
if I'm
oh,
wrong, Muchi.
oh, he was sold. Oh,
Yeah.
Kovacic.
man, he.
Oh my god.
I mean, for that, you might as well buy Bellingham and use him as an attacker.
But Bellingham, I think I wouldn't want to buy Bellingham for that much because
How
I
old
feel
is he?
like
How old is Bellingham?
he's young.
20.
He's super young,
He's
bro.
20.
19
Oh,
actually.
oh
19,
man,
sorry.
oh man, that's too much pressure though.
We see, this is the thing though, real. So like, I've actually seen a lot of Bellingham games in Dortmund, and like, yes, you're right. He's not the natural creator for that team, but I must admit he does have that capability of doing that. Like he can create his own space. He can dribble out of like pressure, and so like he can distribute the ball. You know, like obviously box to box, whatever you want to say, but just saying he has that potential.
I will say this. Someone just came from the top of my head. Someone came to my it just
Was it from the
Oh,
Bundesliga?
Musiala. Musiala would be a perfect fit.
Almost, yeah, okay.
Like as a 10,
That could be an
Yeah,
option.
but Real Madrid doesn't really play with that.
but I think it's
Unless,
time.
I mean,
unless
they can. I mean,
Ancelotti
they can.
brings back his Christmas tree, and then we're talking about a whole different ball game. If Ancelotti brings back his Christmas tree and put Bellingham at the top, and then he's gonna go with well, I don't think never mind. He's not gonna do the Christmas tree because he got Beanie. Now, if Beanie leaves and they bring Mbappe, like Florentino wants to do, that's a whole nother ball game as well.
That's
Like
tough.
Florentino wants to sell Vinicius to bring Mbappe. Like this man has something like ticking in his mind with bringing
master
Mbappe to
planning.
Real Madrid. Some
You,
master
you,
plan.
you know what I can see though? Instead of putting Rodrigo as a right winger, you move him as an attacking mid role, and then you buy a right winger. You know, I was talking to Luis the other day. I think, can you imagine a Mahrez on Madrid? That would be a beautiful fit.
He would be fantastic for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But
That should
you
be
know that
somebody that they should
I
try to
think
go after.
now that we've been talking about Ancelotti a lot, I think Ancelotti this season he wasn't truthful to himself.
In what sense?
Because last season he played obviously with Casemiro, Kroos, and Modric, perfect. And his right winger was a false winger who was Valverde.
Valverde,
And
yeah.
we saw the best Valverde. And then when Casemiro left, instead of trusting the $100 million player that you brought, you put Valverde as a third midfielder, and then you put in Rodrigo as a starter. And yes, you did win games. Yes, Rodrigo won you La Copa del Rey. Fantastic. But Rodrigo showed yesterday that he's not ready for this type of matches. Rodrigo came last year and he was clutch against City in a different type of like game. When you are getting destroyed by a team, we know that Vini and Rodrigo are probably not the best players for those type of games where you have to suffer that much. Rodrigo said in the conference right after the game that he was upset because the team suffered for 45 minutes. So his face was like, yo, I just suffered for 45 minutes. Like, leave me alone.
I mean, you also got to realize Rodrigo was playing a different role last year as well. He was coming off the bench, where we notice a lot that he actually does a lot of effectiveness from that role. And then, as you said, Valverde was playing that right wing, which he was doing really well. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to see that, especially seeing Rodrigo young with that talent. But dang, man, he really did suffer.
I mean, you guys are starting to call players very young, but Rodrigo's already 22. Like the Beanie's about to turn like 25, if I'm not mistaken. Yo, Beanie's about to turn 25, I think.
Yeah, but Vinicius is different because
how much?
No, he's about to turn like 20. He's 22. He's about to turn 23.
He's only 22.
Yeah, Vinicius is young.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
He came like at 18 to Madrid, bro.
No, I'm sorry. I got confused with Tuchomeni.
Oh, yeah, Tuchel, yeah, he's a little old.
But see, that's the thing, though, Mochi. You got to think about what's your definition of young. So what, your definition of young is what, 19, 18? Is that what you mean? Then once they hit 23, 24, they're old at that point? That's
Yeah,
actually
I got confused between Beanie and Tushomeni. Tushomeni is
I would
23
say
already.
I would say 18 to like maybe 22 is kind of when you're still like in that young
Like
kind
to
of,
yeah, like to me,
you know, like
like a young player is 21 and younger. Like
if
they
you're
give you
23, you're officially kind of like you left that young phase already. Like, okay,
you're
now
already a mature player at
yeah, you gotta
23.
step up now. You can't make the mental mistakes. You gotta make the plays. Like you're expected at that point to perform every week. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what's really important
yeah.
as well, dude, and that's why I think that's why I think Luka Modric, like a lot of people praise Luka Modric because of how old he is, but Luka Modric started playing elite football 10 years ago. Like he signed for Real Madrid when he was 25 years old. When he was 26-year old, he got voted worst signing of the century for Real Madrid. Of the century, so 100 years, and he got voted the worst signing. And then the next year, he started playing as a starter. And then 2 years later, he started winning Champions Leagues. Like this man started playing elite football at 27. And yes, he's 37. He's done a lot of things, big praise. But when you guys I have a lot of people telling me like, oh, um, Modric, his top 10 midfielders in history, this and that. And I was like, okay, I understand what you're saying. But to me, for Felipe Ramis, to me, a player that started in elite football at 17 and retired at 36 is more than a player that started at 26, 27 and retires at 40. I
Depends
don't
what
know
impact they do.
because the
Definitely an impact.
maturity that you have when you're 26, 27, you don't have it when you're 17, 18. So obviously when Modric started playing quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, like he doesn't make the same mistakes that 17, 18, 19-year-olds make. Rios, do you think that you're the same? Do you think that you have the same mental intelligence in the soccer field that you did when you were 18 or 19?
No, obviously, yeah. Now I feel like I'm way more mature and understand. I see the game completely different.
Of course. So you think that if you let's just give an example, right? Gavi, right? Gavi from Barcelona, he
Mm-hmm.
started elite football at 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
When he turns 27, that's already 10 years. So he should have some maturity in his game.
Well, it could, because right, or he could be a let's say, okay. I mean, it
Or
could that can buy that
his career can go to hell,
exactly like many. Well, a lot of, sorry to say this, but a lot of Barca players that came
Yeah.
out of La Cantera, that has happened where you start way too early. It's tough. Like again, it can go either two ways for Gavi. Gavi can just only go up, and then by the time he's like 27, he'll be top three, or his career can fold.
True, true, true. So here we
Yeah.
have a comment. Here we have a comment from Steve who says, "Bro, Modric was the best player in Tottenham and top 10 in the Premier League before joining Real Madrid." And I want to make a comment to Steve. Tottenham is not an elite club. Tottenham is not elite football. If you're in the Premier League for Tottenham, when Modric was at Tottenham, not this last Tottenham,
They had a
but
nice
from
little squad though.
yeah, they had
Was
a
it
nice little squad.
Adebayor? Was it Adebayor?
I
They had
mean, but you
Modric.
could be
But
world,
you know what I'm saying, right? Like you're not in the
yeah.
top six in England, like
But you can be
in that
world class.
moment.
I mean, look at someone like Bell though. When Bell was on Tottenham, he was world class. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
And Bell went to Real Madrid when he was like 21 or 22.
I don't know how old was he
Mm.
when Bell joined. He went joined like
No,
2013,
I
I
think
think.
he's older.
Let's check. Let's check what age. How old was Bell?
Because I remember when Bell came on the scene, it was like that Inter game, and
Right,
he
against Inter. So Bell joined Real Madrid when he was 24.
okay.
So he was already a mature player.
Yeah, oh, he was definitely ready for
Well,
that
I
stage.
think it's different
You know?
now. I think players now are mature a lot earlier. I mean, yeah, you still had your young talents every now and then, but now I think now it's more common to see younger players be mature because of the game is
Absolutely.
evolving and the better coaching education, better
Yeah,
development. So I
I
think
mean,
it's
yes,
different. Like I think
yeah.
back then we would see a person that's young,
Steve
20 to
doesn't agree with me,
25.
by the way.
That's okay.
But bro, like Jamal, like you were just saying about
Musiala?
Barcelona academy players, right?
Oh my bad.
No,
Oh.
Jamal from Barcelona, yo,
The 16-year-old?
15.
15.
And he got called up for the Spanish national team U17 like Euro.
Mhm.
Like he's 15 and he's part of like U17. So we're gonna start seeing a lot of like newer players like that left winger for PSG. He started at 16 or 17 and he
Mhm.
turned 18 this year. Like bro, like this man has been in the PSG squad with like Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar for 2 years already.
Yeah. Well, like I said, in today's game, you're gonna see a lot more young players. I guess, and so what? I guess be a little bit more mature,
I think the best
in my opinion,
example is
compared to like,
um
Modric. Yeah,
was
back when Bale was at
what was
Tottenham.
What are you
was
saying, Danny?
no, what's the name of that kid that Madrid just signed from Brazil? Endrick. He's
Oh,
like
Hendrik.
he's like what, like 16, and they already
Yeah.
pay 100 for him. Like, I mean, bro,
Yeah,
like
80, dude. It's crazy. How
he
you
has
pay?
to be a beast. Like, there's no way they missed this. Like, he has to
Oh,
be a monster. Like,
Danny, but you know what's crazy? He was killing it at Palmeiras until he came to Madrid and signed the contract, and he's been benched since then. Like he
really.
has not had a good season since he signed for Real Madrid. Like he's already feeling the pressure.
Or he's already thinking about Madrid. He's like,
Yeah, but
oh,
he
he's
can't
like,
go to Real Madrid until he turns 18.
how old is he? He's like 16, right? Still, right?
Yeah, he's 16.
Oh, then he still has a long time. Yeah,
You
just
know,
2 more years at least.
yeah, he has 2 more years over there. You know, he's been benched by the coach. They're saying a lot that his mind kind of like got away a little bit. Of course, dude, you're
Of
signing
course,
an
yeah,
80 million player.
man.
You're 16
You
in
want to be,
Palmeiras,
yeah,
bro.
bro. You want to be in Madrid at that point already, bro. I don't blame him. Like,
Nah,
he
I
wants,
feel you on that.
he wants to be living the life already.
So we have Real Madrid against Inter Milan in the final. Obviously, we're gonna have a show before that and all that good stuff. Um, do you guys feel like you guys already have a champion in mind, or you guys want to see how they get there in a few
Oof.
weeks?
What are you talking about? Say that again.
So basically, kind of like a prediction to a sense.
What do you mean?
You talking about the Champions League final?
Yeah.
City, bro. Come on.
What did I say?
No, City. Like, why is this even a debate? We know City's gonna
Oh,
take it. Why is
Well,
it even a question? Does
yo, you
anyone
know
think
what?
otherwise?
I mean,
Personally,
Inter
which I
Inter
want to see.
Milan has a squad.
Bro, tell
They have a
me,
squad though.
did you not fall asleep watching that Italian game?
I did not, dog.
Bro, that game was so boring.
It was
It was
Italian
whack.
he
football,
got kind of
dude.
late at the end, though. On the
Bro,
Yo,
what did
Lautaro.
Milan have? Milan didn't do anything, bro.
Yo,
didn't
Milan
have
was
to.
not ready. Yo, AC Milan was not ready to play a semifinal.
Bro, you just
They weren't.
the
They
the lack of creativity from that team, it was disgusting. It was ugly. I literally it was boring.
Yo, but
I don't know how anyone enjoyed that game unless you
Rios,
were
you
at
know
the
what's
stadium.
funny, dog?
Bro, they scrappers. That's what it is. They're scrappers, man.
You know what's funny? This Inter Milan that won the Scudetto 3 years ago, they are so ready to do that step. Like they were ready to play this final. They played 3 terrible sides to make it to the final.
Which I believe that's a little suspect.
I wouldn't say that from the Real Madrid
That's a
perspective,
little
bro.
suspect,
I
bro.
don't think you're the right person to say that.
I think
okay?
that's a little suspect. I think they're trying to put Italian football back on the map, and this is
Well,
the
who's
perfect
paying
way to
though?
do
Who's
it.
paying though? Who's paying?
Somebody,
for
some Italian dude, some Italian mafia dude.
Wow.
Oh,
Sounds like
no.
conspiracy, my friend. Oh my
Yo,
god.
I'm just
boys,
saying.
we have as well the Europa League final between Rome and Sevilla. Yo, Sevilla eliminated Juventus, bro.
Bro,
I'm
that's
not.
crazy.
Juventus. That's crazy.
But Juventus didn't even play a good game.
I'm not too surprised by that, to be honest with y'all. Because
You're not surprised, or you are?
No, I'm not surprised that they actually got eliminated. Honestly.
Come on, it's a La Liga team, bro. What do you expect?
Oh man. Yo,
But-
Steve.
Fuerte.
Steve says from 2008 to 2012, when Modric was there, Tottenham finished top 5. So Europa League football.
Ooh, that boy hitting you with facts. Go ahead.
Yeah, top 5 Europa League football. Sounds good. Good show though. Thank you very much. You're welcome to be part of it. You know, if you gotta. Is that Steve, the one that we play soccer with, the family member?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
family
Well.
member.
I have no idea.
Also, watch Seco score at 94 minutes and put his old team City to sleep. Could be. But thank you so much, Steve. Welcome to the Golden Shoe. Thank you so much. Subscribe, you know, la campanita and all that good stuff. Gentlemen,
Wait, so he's saying that he has Inter to win the whole thing? Is that what he's saying?
he's saying he got Inter to win the whole thing.
Okay.
Who said that?
Well,
Steve.
he's saying that. He's
He
saying
said
that.
Seco 94-minute goal and put
He
his
said that
all.
Inter's gonna win the final.
Oh,
You know what though? I got a question for y'all boys, and I mean I know it's not really part of the lineup, I should say, but seeing that he did mention Zeko, right? Who would y'all like if y'all don't mind me asking? Who would y'all start? Lautaro, Lukaku, or Lautaro and Zeko?
Ooh.
Who has to start?
No, who would you start?
Oh, I'll start Lautaro and Lukaku all day, dog.
Yeah.
you need
You
some
definitely
speed
wanna-
against that city.
Yeah, you want to have some movement up there
Mm.
because, like,
And
if you have,
size.
if you got that old man up there, man, it's gonna be.
I mean,
mean,
Seco could kill you, though, but Lautaro will destroy you, though. I
Hold
think.
on,
Yeah.
Yo,
was a set pick.
I
Though,
was
but they
just
changing.
I was just arguing with a bunch of friends that Lautaro is top 10 strikers in the world.
I can
Like-
see that. I guess
Like, yo, this
it's
man.
close though.
Like, do
Yeah, I
you
guess
do
he's a
you
world
do you have in mind? Like, do you have in mind 9 strikers better than Lautaro?
Would you put Julian over him?
I wouldn't.
I mean, they did in the World Cup though.
Yeah, they did.
I
And
wouldn't.
Lautaro, man, I mean,
And he missed a lot of chances in the final. Bro. He missed like 2 at least.
So
Yeah, because he
we
was
can go with
hurt.
Haaland, Benzema.
Not Benzema, not this year.
Wait, you
Are we
said
going this year?
better than who? Than
Of course,
Martinez?
top 10 strikers in the world right now.
Lewandowski definitely better. I mean, that's not even.
Lewandowski has had a better
Yeah.
year than not even, dog. Lewandowski has not had a better year than Lautaro. Lautaro,
I think so.
I think Lautaro is
Victor
top scorer.
Osimhen.
Okay, Osimhen. Okay, that's one.
All right, Haaland.
Definitely Haaland. Number
I'm
one.
gonna go with Julian Alvarez.
That's perfect. Yeah, I mean
That's
that's
3.
you.
That's 3. Come on, boys, help me out, dog.
No, I'm trying to think.
Harry Kane.
Yes,
Harry
hell
Kane.
yeah.
Okay. You got Lewandowski.
Yeah,
Or
right,
was
that's
was he
5.
already in your top 4?
Nah, he wasn't.
Okay, Lewandowski.
That's
I'm just
5.
thinking about big clubs.
I'm trying to think.
From PSG. No, Mbappe's a winger.
Bro, I'll make it easier for you. Remember how I have this list of like the elite teams, right?
Yeah.
Would Lautaro be the starter at Barcelona over
No.
Lewandowski? No.
No.
Would he be
No.
the starter over Haaland at City?
Nope.
No.
Would he
Okay,
be
he's
the
a second
starter-
tier. He's a second tier type of player.
Would he be the starter at 9 at Manchester United? Yes.
He could. Yeah, he could.
Yeah.
Would he be the starter at Arsenal, who's been fighting with City all year? Over Gabriel Jesus? Come on.
That's what's up,
Gabriel.
No,
Yeah,
bro.
it's
Jesus was
close.
killing it before he got
Yeah,
injured.
Jesus is good, bro.
Yo.
Eric said that. Yeah.
You guys know that Lautaro is in the top 10 of the most expensive players in the world, like every position?
Yo, but Jesus is nice though.
Nah,
No,
Jesus,
he's great, especially in
Yeah, he just
FIFA.
got injured. He got injured though.
he got injured, bro. Before he got injured, he was killing it.
This man says he bad.
I know. Ivan Tone is a baller.
But he's
Chill
not-
out.
Bro,
Actually,
he's not better than
Just
Lautaro.
because he gambles, all right? Just because he bets on his own game.
Bro, we're talking about Lautaro Martinez, bro. Yo,
that's
Steve
great.
is a Premier League guy. This man saying Rashford is better than Lautaro, bro. Why? Why?
Hey, yo,
Wait,
what
I
Is
agree.
Rashford-
I agree with Steve.
Is Rashford a striker though? I mean, is he on that? Like, does he fall on the
Could be.
striker?
Yo, Lautaro will be a starter at
He
Bayern
can play
Munich.
anywhere. Yeah, he can play striker. He can play winger.
So he counts as a striker technically, Rashford. Then.
Yo, can Lautaro start at Bayern Munich over Choupo-Moting? Come
Oh
on.
yeah, what?
Over
Okay,
Of course.
so
Yeah.
he will not start at Barcelona. Yo,
I don't know, dog.
Lautaro would be a great partnership with Karim Benzema at Real Madrid. I honestly, the best striker Real Madrid can sign, it's Lautaro Martinez.
I mean, they probably have to sell him anyway.
Yo, if they put Karim Benzema to play as a 10 and they put Lautaro
A
Martinez as a
Benzema?
9
No.
Bro, that's they're gonna get killed, bro.
with Benzema as a 10, feeding Vinicius and Lautaro's ball the whole day, bro, Real Madrid will kill it.
Who's better,
Yeah.
Nunez or Lautaro?
Lautaro.
Oh,
bro.
Lautaro.
Come on.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Lautaro.
listen, another elite team that Lautaro will start. Liverpool.
Nah, I don't know. Over Gakpo?
Actually,
Yeah, but Gakpo doesn't really play there. He's a
No,
second
Gakpo's
striker.
been playing the
like-
9, and he's been playing Firmino's role.
This man Louis says, "How you gonna say that when he missed so many goals in
Louis-
the
Louis
World
is
Cup?"
right.
Yes, but he was
He's right.
hurt. Like we just defended Benzema for being hurt, but not Lautaro. We have to, we have to have the same cut for everybody, dog.
Hey, you know what? Let me tell you something real quick. I think 1-9 that's kind of been under the radar, and you might not put him top 10, but I think he's actually up there. Tammy Abraham. I like what he's been doing at Roma, low key. I'm not gonna say top 10. I'm not gonna say top 10. I'm not gonna say top 10 because he's not there, but he's been under the radar. He's been under the radar. All right?
Okay, listen. Abraham, Abraham is good. He's like top 50.
Oh
50?
my god.
Oh my God.
I can think of the top of my head 30 best strikers than
Eddie, you tell me you watch the
30?
Italian league
Then Abraham.
consistently this year?
yeah, bro. He watches every game.
I've seen a couple of games, yeah, actually.
A couple.
Couple of games, yeah. A couple for me is a lot. It's enough.
Bro, Eddie is the manager at Apple, dog. You know this man busy.
Yo, forever.
Yo, boys, we got the
MLS,
Premier League
bro.
on fire, right? There's a bunch of things that we got to talk about the Premier League, yo, boys, all right? Because
Brighton
Manchester
lost today,
City,
bro.
Manchester City is one win away from winning their 5th league in 6 years.
Not surprised.
5th, yo, 5.
They got the best coach in history, bro.
Bro, that's insane.
What do you expect?
That's insane. Yo, and then we have Newcastle who beat out Brighton
They beat my
today.
Brighton today, bro.
Yep, 4-1.
And then, yo, we have Liverpool. Yo, look at Liverpool just catching up. Yo, let's do a quick comment on Manchester United. Do you guys think if Manchester United qualifies to the Europa League, they get out of the Champions League? Do you guys think it will be a disaster season for Ten Hag? Like, do you
Honestly,
guys
no.
think, like, FA Cup final? They made it to what's the other final? The Carling Cup. That's the other.
Yeah, they
cup,
won
right?
it, right?
The Carabao.
Which they won. They won the Carling Cup. They made it to FA Cup final, but they don't make it to the Champions League.
Mm.
Let's just say they beat Manchester City in the FA Cup final. So they won 2 cups this season too. Do you guys think them not qualifying to the Champions League would be a sacking thing for Ten Hag?
No,
No,
sad.
hell
But a
no.
disappointment though.
No,
Disappointment.
not even a disappointment. There was no expectations this season. He actually overachieved. We
But you
can't
gotta do at
forget.
least top 4 though.
But-
At least.
Bro,
But that's,
He was not brought in this season to make it to Champions League. So if they miss out by any chance, it's okay. It's a long process. They understand it. The board, the directors of the board understand it. They overachieve.
with the amount of money that they spent for
They
this
spent
season.
money too on it. Yeah.
But you also gotta
It
think
takes a
this-
process. Look at Chelsea, for example. They spent a ton of money, and I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
but
we're always
Chelsea-
talking about Chelsea. Why are we talking about Chelsea? I don't want to talk about
Chelsea,
that.
but
Where
Chelsea's
is
like-
Chelsea? They're right here. They're officially out of relegation zone, guys. They are not. There's no more chances of them going to second. They could end up 16th or 17th though, but they are not gonna go down to second division.
Going back to Ten Hag, he gave Man U an identity.
Did they though? They did in the first half of the season, and then Sevilla spanked them, turned them back into reality, and now they went from 3rd to maybe not qualifying to the Champions League, bro.
Well, we'll say this: they didn't have an identity for the past how long? Since what Mourinho was there, right? Mourinho kind of gave them an identity.
that was their last trophy. They were Europa League
So
before
I
Ten
feel
Hag.
like this year he gave them an identity, and I don't think there was any expectations on him with the squad that he had for the amount of money that they spent. I don't think there was any expectation. Now for the following season, for next year, now it's okay, Ten Hag. You had to get us results, and that's probably if they do qualify to the Champions League. I'm pretty sure they want to make a run in the Champions League. I don't think they expect him to win the Champions League with that squad that he has. I don't think
Not
so.
the Champions League, but I think if
No,
you get,
meaning, but let's say they qualify this year.
uh-huh.
If you're the directors,
Yeah.
you know, a task or an objective for him would be okay. Get us out the group stage in the Champions League, get us a run, maybe get us into the quarterfinals with that squad.
Man City could be crowned champions at home on Sunday against Chelsea.
That's pretty much
This
a short bet.
is fantastic for Manchester City, bro. Like
I would
this
love
could
to
be
see that.
this
against
could be
Chelsea.
a great week in Manchester City's history. Guys, let's go back to a take that we all made a few weeks ago. I remember Rio said that he saw Pep Guardiola's Manchester City winning 1 out of 3.
I was just playing devil's advocate, bro.
Oh.
All right. Somebody had to be devil's advocate. Nobody wanted to do it, so I was like, you know what? Let me do it.
Eddie, were you in the show when we asked that? Because this was like a month ago.
To
I
be
know
honest,
Danny. I know Danny had his take for sure on this one.
I don't believe I was, man, but I honestly consistently have been saying that I think they are going to win the treble. Honestly, I
So
really
they're
do.
winning. They're winning. They're
How
beating
convenient.
Chelsea. They're
How
gonna
Oh, no,
beat.
convenient.
it's not convenient, my friend. You gotta
How
think about it.
convenient.
You
You
gotta
weren't
think
saying
about
that
it, man.
last Tuesday.
So Eddie,
You didn't see me last season.
Rios's take was that Guardiola's Manchester City was gonna win only the FA Cup.
Well, I still could be right.
You could still be
Oh,
right.
shut-
Man. You could,
That
you
boy
could
doubled
still
down.
be right.
He doubled down on it. He's like,
Which is funny,
Uh,
you know. You're saying
Danny,
that they're gonna win Champions League, all right? So like, why wouldn't they win the FA Cup? You know, so I suppose why not?
Yo, pop up Steve's comment, bro. This guy, Steve, drop your
If
last
they-
name on here, cuz I have to know you. I gotta
If-
get to know you, though. I like this guy.
if they win the FA Cup, United would have had a very successful season considering how shit things were looking to be.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I can see that.
Very
Thank you.
successful, dude.
There's
The
a
word,
guy with sense.
the word successful is it's hard, dude.
But
Oh,
here's
Depends
the
how you
thing-
see it.
but the
Just
thing is
like
that
exactly.
you
Just
you
compare
have to
Man U, so-
remember like where Manchester United comes from. They didn't win anything last year, and now they win 2 trophies. I mean,
How
yeah,
long
but
has
they
it been?
still, but it's Manchester United. They're qualifying to the Europa League.
Glory, glory.
But you see,
Well,
you're talking about the
United.
history of the club at that point. Like they're such
Every-
a big club at that point. They have to be
Exactly.
qualified
Like
champions.
Manchester United not being top 4 consistently, not fighting for the league consistently. It is
they should get top 4.
how do you
I
guys
think
say
they- I think-
fracaso in English?
Failure.
Failure.
Yeah.
Like I believe that if Manchester United does not qualify to the Champions League, it will be a failure for them.
Yeah, man,
Oh, Danny, why you laughing, bro?
This man
But-
must be thinking though, yo, this man Mucci has been here for more than 20 years, still doesn't know English, dog.
No, bro. Listen, you can't.
Don't worry,
Listen,
no comment, bro. No comment. I
this
say
is
no.
why you can't live in the past, bro.
So
Guys.
let's put it in this perspective, Rios, right? Real Madrid this season, right? They won the Club World Cup, they won the European Super Cup, and they won La Copa del Rey.
That sounds like a successful club to me. Wow.
So what would you rate their season out of 10?
A B minus. Sorry. Yeah, B minus, C plus. Depends how you see
Okay.
it.
Depends how you see it. Taking into consideration, right? That here's where the negatives come. Because yeah, it's all nice. You won the Club World Cup, fantastic. I mean, you have to beat Piper and Coral Springs High and all that good stuff. And then you in the Spanish Super Cup, you get blown out by Barcelona. And then in the Champions League, you get blown out by Manchester City. And then in La Liga, you get blown out 14 points by Barcelona. Here's where the negatives come. So this is how I see it. To me, La Liga or the league, it's 5 points out of your season. The European trophy is 3 points. And then the cup is 2 points. And then you add 1 point to every of your Super Cups and the Club World Cup. So you have Club World Cup, you have Copa del Rey, and you have European Super Cup. So that's 4 points out of 10.
Wait,
Bro, that's a B.
where's these numbers based on? Like, is it you or is it like what
This
they
is
qualify?
this is my personal
okay.
take, because like to me,
But how do you say
La
La
Liga
Liga? How do you say La Liga is worth more than
than the Champions League, because
Yeah.
it's 38 games. It's literally your whole year, and you are 14 points away from the leader. Like you literally concentrated in the Champions League and you got blown away.
I think the better way to look at it is when Madrid started the season, they were what? They were Spanish champions and they were European champions. And they didn't retain any of those titles. So I think like that does hurt them a little bit when it comes to the whole season, because you should have at least won the league maybe to kind of like keep it a little bit like, but I think I'll give them like a 7 out of 10. They still won 3 trophies. I mean, you gotta give them some kind of credit for that. I mean,
I think in today's world, it's impossible to win every year so many trophies. It's just impossible.
yeah, of
I
course.
agree with that. Look at Steve's comments, right? You have to consider the fact that Real Madrid barely spent a penny, but that's not true, because Real Madrid spent 100 million on Tchouaméni. That I think that's a little more than a penny, Steve.
But meaning,
Just a little more. And then you have
let me clarify what he said.
and then what and then you have what's his face. You have Rudiger, who supposedly came in free. Yeah, there was no fee, but you paid him 14 million to sign for your club. So
That's
114 million, I think, are a little more than a penny.
Uh,
I mean, I think
no,
I don't-
so let me clarify with Steve, because I can feel like me and Steve are in the same frequency length.
Yeah, you guys might
I see
go
what he's
out.
saying.
He might use another name.
So Steve, what he meant, right, is not that they barely spent a penny, but this was like one of Madrid's big signings in a long time. Meaning the amount of money that they put down for a player. Am I correct or am I wrong?
I didn't understand what you said. I'm sorry.
Meaning, okay, because go back to his comment. He said that you have to.
You want me to put it up?
Oh, I can see it right here. He said you
Okay.
have to consider that the fact that Real Madrid barely spent a penny, and Barca went full. Where'd they go? Oh, I missed it. Okay, whatever. What he's saying is Tchouaméni was the only player that is basically the only new player on the squad compared to last year. You get what I'm trying to say? Or
No, and I understand, but if you based on you're going to what Danny was saying, dude, because Danny said, "Yo, I mean, you won the Champions League, you didn't retain it. It's a Champions League. Obviously, there's way more teams, and then in La Liga, you're 14 points behind. You just were champions, and you are 14 points behind a team that was in reconstruction. Yo, Barcelona signed 8 players, and 6 were starters.
Exactly. But did you guys spend more money?
They spent about maybe 50, 60 more million than Real Madrid.
That plays a role.
But in November, when Real Madrid left the Bernabeu, beating Barcelona 2-1, Real Madrid was 4 points positive against Barcelona.
But Madrid did lose Casemiro. And we'll see how Barcelona does next year without Busquets.
We'll see, of course. But we're going to compare Busquets to Barcelona's play style to Casemiro, because Real Madrid did let go of Casemiro, but how many World Cup finals have Casemiro played, Rios?
No, but we're talking about, doesn't matter about, hold on.
But answer my question. How many World Cup finals has Casemiro played?
0, but I don't think that has
How many finals have Tchouaméni played?
0. 1. Okay, but that doesn't. But that doesn't mean anything, though.
I'm just saying, though, they did not sign Edison Gutierrez El Osito, bro. They signed a World Cup finalist.
That doesn't matter, though.
They signed the best player in the French league last year.
It's called a stray bullet, dog, for no reason.
I know, man. I'm just here taking the cake, and he comes for me, man. I don't get it.
Casemiro's value, even now, was way bigger than when Tchouaméni's value now from Madrid.
I agree. No, I agree with you. I was just trying to let you know that they did not sign a random ass player.
No, of course. No one's saying he's a random player.
They signed the best defensive midfielder from the French league.
I think.
Okay.
But and Kanté and Pogba got hurt, and Tchouaméni, he put a World Cup. He put a jersey that has 2 stars, and he made it to the final as a starter. Like, they did not sign a random player, though. No one's saying random, you know.
But Tchouaméni's here, Casemiro's up here.
Right now, I don't think there's that much of a difference right now.
No, for sure. Casemiro has so many more years in
history. Oh, we're talking about careers, of course.
Bro, just his presence. I'm talking about presence.
Of course.
Casemiro. You lose him, you lose a locker room presence.
In my team today, I will start Tchouaméni.
If you're Messi, who are you more worried about? If Casemiro's on the field or Tchouaméni?
Oh, Casemiro, bro. It's not even
exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
You guys really think so, though? Because Tchouaméni, though, he played a hell of a World Cup, though.
He did, but it's not the same as Casemiro's worth.
There. I do think They did sell Casemiro a little too early, though, in my opinion. I don't know why Madrid
I
did
think he
that.
wanted to leave already. He wanted a new objective, which is okay.
Oh, I mean, that case that's different. But I thought it was like, I mean,
I don't think Steve is Guti because Steve makes sense.
ah,
Why do you guys feel like I'm downplaying Casemiro? I'm
You
saying that
were trying to at first.
no, I was literally trying to explain that you guys are making it seem like Toshimeni was random, dude.
I didn't. No, we didn't say that. I don't
no,
think
he's.
Eddie.
I
You
mean,
said that.
I just took it because you guys are saying, Casemiro left Madrid. Yo,
Right.
Casemiro, super important, incredible. To me, Casemiro is actually top 10 defensive midfielders in history. Let me just start with how important to me Casemiro is. But they didn't sign. Obviously we already talked about this, but they didn't sign a random guy from the street. Like they signed a world-class player.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't gonna. He didn't have that impact that Casemiro would have had, if he was
I
still
agree.
there.
So you guys think that yesterday's result would have been different with Casemiro on the field?
For sure.
I probably would have been like
Because
2-0.
you didn't have
But hey, that's big.
So
though.
instead of
That's a
4-0,
lot,
2-0,
though.
maybe.
That's a lot though. I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, you keep it close. I mean,
I feel you.
because who in Madrid's midfield has that defensive anchor presence?
oh, nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody. Not even.
That's
Well-
why it was that perfect trio in that midfield, that Modric, Cross, and Casemiro. It was a perfect trio.
Yo, it's funny that we go back to the same conversation about the trio. Who should start next season in the midfield for Real Madrid?
Valverde,
Tchouaméni, Camavinga,
Tchouaméni.
Valverde,
But that's not. I don't.
and Bellingham. Yo, they
I'm
have
gonna
to
wait.
go
I'm
back.
gonna wait until Bellingham gets signed though, because all these rumors, you never know until like it actually happens. So, because does Bellingham play midfield in Dortmund? Where does he play exactly? Or he's
He plays box to box.
okay, so he's kind of like okay.
It's tough. I
Yo,
can't.
how many CDMs, like real CDMs, like Casemiro are in the world right now? Maybe 6, 5.
You have Kante.
Like-
You have.
Busquets.
Like
Rodrigo.
real.
You talking about like Gattuso type of style?
Yo, I know Eddie didn't say Jorginho.
I said Rodri.
Oh, Rodri. Yo, we didn't even talk about Rodri's masterclass yesterday,
yeah,
dog.
super. We barely talk about the
Oh
city.
my
That's the Busquets replacement right there.
Gosh, bro.
That would be the ideal replacement for him. That he would do great.
He put Rodri in Barca, bro.
He's great, but he's not a Busquets. I'll tell you that.
Hey, chill though.
Nah, come on.
I
That's
think
the line.
Rodri
Busquets
is
on
more
one.
dynamic.
No, yeah, but Busquets is a 10 playing as a 6, bro. You don't see that. You won't see that in the next
Well, no,
5.
you're never gonna see it
10
again
years.
though. Yeah, that kind of.
Oh no, man! I feel like Rodri. Let's say Barcelona wanted to sign Rodri right now, he would fit that piece perfectly.
Who's the other one? Kimmich. He's
Oh.
another one.
Yo, we're already at an hour and 7 minutes, but I think we can just do like another 3 minutes. Guys, you guys, there's a lot of things coming up, and there are gonna be a lot of more things coming up, with all the signings and stuff. Today, there was a really good media source that said that there's gonna be a change of players between Barcelona, Manchester City, and Bayern Munich, including Kimmich, Rodri, and Frankie de Jong.
Rigged.
I kind of like Frankie though. I don't know if I want to.
So this is the thing, Danny. Rodri to Barcelona, Kimmich to Manchester City, and Frankie de Jong to Bayern Munich.
Are you guys supposed to get Gundogan?
But Gundogan is free.
Oh, he's free.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
coming in free.
Oof, that would be. That's
I can't believe this, bro. Like,
But that I don't.
anyways, no.
But he's
how-
free. Real Madrid could easily say, "Hey, I'm gonna pay you 300,000 a
That
week."
would be perfect. I would love. Actually, he would look great in all white.
No, he wouldn't. He doesn't.
He's a
look good.
perfect fit.
He doesn't look
Yeah.
good in the Germany jersey, as white as it is.
No, all white Madrid jersey. Yes.
Yo,
That's
you think-
actually, get Florentino on the phone right now, bro.
I'll call him. I got you.
Bro, we gotta get Gundogan. Go after this guy. Drop a bag on him.
Hello.
Drop the
Corrupto.
accent.
They're Yo, boys, we did a whole hour and 10 minutes. Quick, Rios, is Manchester City winning the Premier League this weekend?
Yes, especially against Chelsea. This is on Jonathan, on Brian.
Yo, I forgot about Jonathan saying he was gonna be only 10 minutes late.
That boy with his cousins.
Wow. Yo, that's crazy.
He got into an entanglement.
Eddie, I want you to tell us how many how many trophies is Manchester City winning this year?
I already said it. I'm gonna say it again, man. They're winning the treble.
Ooh, so if they don't, bad luck, Eddie, baby. Let's go.
Hey, man, I never
Alright.
bad luck, man. It's all good energies in this house, man. Stop
I
playing.
think they only win 2 out of 1.
So Steve says that the trio change makes no sense for City unless Rodri wants to leave. So our new friend Steve must not known that one of Pep Guardiola's favorite players is Joshua Kimmich.
I mean, he
So
basically
yeah,
molded him. He molded him. Makes sense.
you said what, Eddie? Sorry.
I'm saying Peppa molded Kimmich into essentially the player that he is, so it makes sense.
That's crazy. And Denver just beat the Lakers, yo boys.
If I see City losing one of these games, I see them lose against Man U.
We see,
The
we
FA
see
Cup.
In the FA Cup final,
Yeah. If
I
if
think-
if they lose one game. Bro,
Leo,
Ten Hag got Guardiola's number, bro. Remember, he's a tactical genius. Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
we can hear you.
I
but-
can't hear you.
man, we can see the mic.
Y'all
though.
hear me, but y'all don't hear me.
We see the mic. though.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, allow me to tell.
Yes, Danny. Danny, are you changing? Are you going from one to Guardiola winning more trophies this season? Because I know you said one, and it was the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken.
No. I think
No, he said 2 out of 3.
Oh, he said 2 out of 3. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's gonna lose the FA Cup. I think
Ooh,
Manchester
see,
United
there you
got
go.
no.
So
Yeah, I
you
think-
do hear me.
Yo,
Bro, all they need is one game. Anything could happen. So I could see like
Exactly.
Manchester United get like a 2-1, like something like some tight game like that, where like they just kind of like, they kind of make it happen. I mean, no, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, so in the Champions League,
I
and the
just-
Premier League,
I
it's
just
not bad.
think-
It's not
I
a
just
bad
think-
season.
I just think that we're not taking into consideration that Inter Milan is European loyalty.
Oh, Muchi, you asking all these questions. What do you think?
Yeah, what you got, bro?
I think they're only winning one.
Hold on. So you was
What?
giving me shit because I picked one. You mother.
But I never said how many though. This is the first time you guys asked me.
Hey,
told you it was
hold
very
on, hold on. Let me put something in perspective real quick before we end the show. And this is specifically for Muchi since you're Spanish, okay? Now,
Spanish.
if Pep wins the treble, right?
Mhm.
Do you think it's time Spain considered him as a national coach?
He's not gonna go for the Spanish national team.
He's not,
Why?
man. We've been talking
not,
about this.
I don't
because of cultural things and where he's from and the rivalry that the city that he's from has with the national team.
But you don't think that they should overlook that? You know, so they should like, hey, look.
I'm not saying they won't. I'm saying that Guardiola might just not do it. And
Bro,
Guardiola
I
is too
think-
young, dude. He's too young for national teams.
I think
I think Ancelotti should clear it and go to Brazil, though. I think it's time that Ancelotti goes to Brazil.
You
Now
think
I'll
so?
give you that one. I'll give you that one.
I
think, oh my god,
He'll
I'm
start Vinny over
surrounded by
Neymar.
Colombians today. I just noticed.
Always.
that.
You know you love it.
I'm just saying
That
that-
boy loves being around Colombia.
That yo boys, Bielsa is the new Uruguay coach.
Pep Guardiola going to Colombia. Bro.
USA choked, bro. They should have gone for him.
Yeah. So.
Now they have
Yo.
Jesse March as the lead. Oh my god.
Bro, I think this guy Steve is Daniela's cousin, bro.
Who?
Daniela's cousin.
I don't know who that is.
No, I don't.
Bro, that he played soccer with us in Coral Springs, the cousin.
Steven?
Yeah.
No, it would have been Steven. And it's too late. I think he goes to sleep early.
Oh man. You guys, the French league is almost over with. We know PSG is only a few points away. Yo, Bayern Munich up top again against Dortmund. We know Bellingham leaving. Italian league, we know they're already the champion. Yo, this is set, guys. Like the season is almost over. Top 3 of the Ballon d'Or right now before we end the show. Rios, top 3. I think this man froze.
Ballon d'Or?
Ballon d'Or, top
Do
3.
you hear me? You hear me? Hello?
We hear you. We hear you. Top 3 right now
Haaland.
for Ballon d'Or.
Let me see.
Haaland, Messi, Vinny.
All right. Eddie, who you got?
Definitely Haaland for sure. Loki, I kind of like De Bruyne, honestly. I like him there. And Considering the stats that you did give about Messi, I am gonna have to put Messi in there for sure too.
Just might, just might.
No.
Just
I
might,
like
just
the fact- no,
because, just
I like
because.
the whole like soccer calendar year, but the whole stats it does make sense considering the fact that he didn't have like the greatest season out of his career, but what he's done this year, it stands to be noticed.
Danny,
think
you
he's
got a
cute.
top three in mind?
Yeah, man. I think if it's a treble, definitely Holland. But if it's not a treble, I'm gonna go with Messi. But as it stands right now, I'm gonna go Holland, Messi, Mbappe.
Haaland, Messi, and Mbappe.
Yeah, for top three.
I think it's gonna. You okay, Rios?
Yeah, did you guys see Eddie open his eyes, yo?
No.
I knew Rios was gonna point that out. I did that specifically for you, Rios.
Bro, I
Don't worry.
never seen this man open his eyes so big in my life.
Oh my
Alright, go
god.
ahead, my bad, bro.
Guys, I think this is gonna be the top five. I think it's gonna be Messi, Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, Kylian Mbappe, and Vinicius Jr.
Yeah, I see that too.
You just put Kevin De Bruyne, and Kevin De Bruyne has had a great season. And for our new visitor, Mr. Steve, Messi, Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne. That's a good.
He got
top
some
three.
sense.
Yep. He does have
That's
a lot of
exactly
sense.
what I said. That's exactly
Yo,
what
Steve, hit us up, dog. Hit us up.
Nah,
I
you
don't
didn't
know.
say that, Eddie.
I
You did
did
not
say
say
that.
that.
Steve
did
sounds
say
like
that.
a huge Premier League guy, like a huge Madridista. We need a Madridista in the show because obviously Guti and Rios.
Oh, you're talking about Atletico Madrid. That makes sense, bro. Yeah. Atletico de Madrid, bro.
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
love when Eddie comes, dog. He's so funny, dog.
yeah, man. I keep it spicy, you know. What's up?
Yo, Danny, last question and we out. Heat in how many games? Miami Heat, how many games?
Oh, oh my god.
6.
In six? The Heat
Yeah,
in six?
6.
Eddie, how much? You watch basketball, Eddie?
I do watch basketball. Don't know. Hey, don't try me like that,
You
man.
didn't watch the Bulls.
That's a tough one. Damn. Because and I love Jimmy Butler, man. He played with the Bulls too, man. I still hate the Bulls for draining them. Damn. I'm gonna have to support the Heat for Jimmy Butler only. I'll say the same thing as Danny in 6 games.
Heat in six. Rios, what you got?
No comment.
That boy's scared they're gonna get swept, dog. He's scared, dog.
Ooh.
He's saying Celtics and 7.
Swept?
Celtics and 7.
All right, yo, boys. That was the
That's what you
Golden
wanna say.
Shoe episode 20. Real Madrid trashed by Manchester City at the Etihad. That was history yesterday. Bye.
Eddie hit a dance